Good afternoon, everyone. This is Laurel Donnellan with Bright Livelihoods. I'm very happy to have you today for our summer vocation camp. Really excited to share with you some information that will help you get from where you're at now to closer to work that you will love. Just a few housekeeping notes. You may want to have some note paper or a place on your desktop or your smartphone where you take notes. And it's always helpful if you're with this application, if you have less windows open. So you may want to close down your other windows so you can focus on this program, and also your software will run better. So we're going to explore our method today. We're going to delve deeply into 5 keys to developing career mastery. Career mastery is actually moving to and having work that you love. We're going to explain 5 strategies for helping you out in the world create career mastery in moving ahead with your work and your career. And then most importantly, develop an action plan for how you move these ideas forward into your life for the next 7 days. Please ask questions. There is a question box on the bottom of your panel, and that is a great place to communicate to me if you have any questions. Questions about what I'm explaining, but also any questions you might have about your own career. This is love to have as much interaction as possible. So we'll get started. Just want to start with our purpose as an organization is to help you and anyone we work with move from just a job to meaningful work that leverages your passions and purpose and helps you really get on track to a career that you will love. I think that's possible for everyone. So we transform dreamers into doers, but dreaming is an important aspect that I'll talk about later. So you can use your authentic talents for what you love and making that into work that you love. So we're going to start with a visualization. If you can just get quiet and focus in on your breath, and we're going to focus on a visualization around purpose. We use visualizations in our programs to help people ignite their imagination, but also reduce what we call career anxiety. So we're going to help you focus in on what you need to do today to let go and to be more engaged with your imagination. So close your eyes and focus in on your breath. Try not to change your breath, but just focus on getting a natural rhythm. So breathing in the idea of purpose and breathing out everything else. Breathing in purpose and breathing out everything else. Keeping in mind that you want to breathe in and relax and not try to force anything too much in this visualization. So if you can, imagine breathing in the idea of purpose and landing that idea of purpose in your heart and allowing that idea of purpose to take on a color, perhaps, if it's not too difficult, take on a color. And then moving that idea of purpose and that color through your body. So from your heart into your solar plexus, into your abdomen, your hips, your thighs and hamstrings, your knees, your calves and shins, and then down through your feet and into the earth, grounding that energy, and then bringing that energy up through the earth into your feet, calves and shins, knees, thighs, hips, abdomen, solar plexus, moving that idea of purpose into your heart, back through your shoulders and arms, and then up through your head. Letting go of everything that happened to get you here and everything that's going to happen later. and then bringing that idea of purpose back into your heart. And you might, if you can, identify an intention for today's webinar. And then come back to the webinar. So our method is the foundation of all the work that we do. We wanted to share today the 12 practices and principles that are the foundation of creating a bright livelihood and living your genius. The first part of the process is about being connected, and it deals with being in the past. So courage is understanding where you've been courageous in the past, and then identifying the ways that you can be more imaginative and being a visionary. Faith is connecting to soul in whatever way that's meaningful to you. For some people that's yoga, for other people it's church, and for other people it's playing with their animals. So connecting to soul is a very personal thing. Awareness is around understanding your past in great detail. So understanding your family's history around work, your career history, your educational history, what those things are that you want to learn and from your past, what you want to bring forward, what you want to let go of. And the truth is challenging limiting beliefs. So we all hold ideas about ourselves and the world that might be getting in the way of us creating a vision for future work that we love, or actually taking the steps we need to actualize the vision. So those things that may be in the way mentally is about challenging limiting beliefs. So that's phase one, being connected, understanding your past. Phase two is really about being yourself, and it's about being present. So what's going on with you presently? First of all, balance has to do with paying attention to your health. So are you taking care of yourself physically, emotionally, intellectually, spiritually? And if you're not, how can you balance yourself more to have energy to do that? It's hard to create a vision, and it's hard to manifest a vision or future work that you love if you're not taking care of yourself. So that's the first foundational idea in being yourself. The second is honoring all relationships. It's hard to love what you do at work if you don't enjoy your boss or your coworkers or your clients. So learning what type of tribe you need to hang out with and where you're going to flourish is important. It's also really important to understand what's going on in your personal life. Is work taking over, and are you not addressing your personal relationships? So honoring all relationships is about having better relationships on and off the job so you can have emotional stability and a great foundation for work that you love. Abundance is really important. Developing prosperous habits. Those habits have to do with the habits physically around managing your money, maybe building your revenue if you're an entrepreneur, or building your salary if you're working on a job. It's also those habits you have mentally around abundance. Are you feeling abundant? Are you practicing abundance in your life? So mental and physical ideas around money, really important. I don't believe do what you love and the money will follow, because I've worked with so many clients that have a calling that may not be the best paying. I mean, parenting, teaching, being with little kids in nursery school, they're not going to necessarily buy you a very luxurious life, but it can be a very abundant life if you can learn to manage your needs around money with your calling. Authenticity is really the core of what we do at Bright Lively. It's helping you identify those passions that drive you. And we identify 4 different types of passions. So the first is, what are you curious about? What are you interested in? What do you want to learn? If you're not, for example, learning about your discipline or your job, it's probably not the right job for you. Long-term sustainability around calling or job or career has a lot to do about what you're interested in learning. So learning and what you want to read about, what you want to go to classes are. If you're interested in your discipline and you're interested in the new innovations in your discipline, you're probably in the right area. So curiosities, interest is number one. Number two is talents, and talents are different than skills. So you may be able to do a lot of things well, but you may not be able to enjoy them or get energy back from them. Talents are those things that you wouldn't delegate, that you love to do so much you don't want anyone else doing them. So understanding the difference between talents and skills is really critical. Your style is those things that you express at work beyond skills. So it might be a sense of fashion, a sense of spirituality, a sense of humor. What is your style? What do you need to express at work? And the last is environment. What do you need to be at work already before you get there? Do you need natural light? Do you need quiet? Do you need noise? Do you need a place where you can bring your dog? Do you need a flexible work schedule? Do you need inspiring leadership? So environment is the place at work that you can create or someone else has created that's the right culture fit for you. So those are all about authenticity and finding and developing your passions. And that is phase two, being yourself and finding an authentic place for yourself in the world of work. Phase three is where you take all this knowledge that you've developed in the first the first 8 principles and practices and put together a plan, not unlike a business plan for you and your work for your next career chapter. So first you need to explore all the possibilities, really get creative. You know, we're living in a challenging time around career, but there's also lots of opportunities. So you can work online, you can work freelance, you can start your own business, you can look for a job, you can look for multiple part-time jobs. There's lots of options, and I think one of the things that we do for our adults more than anything is expand the possibilities. So you can expand those possibilities for yourself. Lots of resources online, and we have resources as well at Bright Livelihoods if you want to check us out. Under the consulting tab, go to resources. Integrity is about claiming a purpose, and claiming a purpose is why are you working. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes, but it's a really good question to ask yourself. Are you working for the paycheck? Are you working for creative expression? Are you working for both? Understanding the why, really critical to creating work that you love. Vision, seeing soul work is about your future and really imagining and then going after your future. Instead of aimlessly going from one job to the next, it's really important to create a vision for what you want to create, whether it's within your organization or creating your own organization. Commitment, doing remarkable work, is really where the rubber meets the road. It's taking all this self-knowledge and research that you would be doing around really creating a solid plan for your future and then taking those steps to get to where you're at now to where you want to be. So that's the foundation of all of our programs, and I also want to delve a little deeper here into 5 keys around career mastery. Again, career mastery is, I think, available to everyone. Career mastery is defining what you want out of your next career chapter, going for it, and then getting on a trajectory to work that you love every day. The first is to define soul work. So in studying other people's work, I found that I really needed to develop my own language so that I could help people who are struggling with these ideas. So we have remarkable work and unremarkable work. If you look at the rain on this graphic, unremarkable work has to do with work that is draining you. So it might be not sustainable financially, it may not be sustainable emotionally, or both. And often the first step to getting into remarkable work, which is sustainable and enjoyable and the right direction for you, is letting go of unremarkable work and getting underneath this umbrella. So underneath the umbrella of remarkable work, there's two different types of work. There's soul work, and that is the goal for all of our clients, is to figure out the absolute best use of your passions and purpose. That is soul work. And then creating a plan around that. So it's really important to figure out what your passions are and figure out what your purpose is so that you can define your soul work. Bridge work, unlike unremarkable work, bridge work actually allows you the time and energy to pursue your soul work. So sometimes our clients need to do something for a while so that they can get the skills and mastery needed to do their soul work for money. And sometimes, soul work doesn't pay very well. So occasionally someone might realize that their soul work is acting in a local theater company or gardening or volunteering at their church or taking care of their children. So they have to supplement that income with bridge work. Bridge work is still remarkable, though. It's still sustainable, and it allows you space and time for your soul work. So key number one, defining your soul work. And that is a journey. It doesn't happen necessarily quickly, but it's really important. Key number two is balancing this idea of economic and emotional sustainability. So if you can think about this, you can figure out which quadrant you're in. So quadrant one are people that really enjoy their work, but may not be making it as far as economic sustainability. So they're not paying their bills, or they're behind on their bills and may be getting in debt. That's very stressful. That's quadrant one. Quadrant two is where you want to be, and that's balancing economic and emotional sustainability. So it's people who like their work, who are also paying their bills and building the type of wealth they want to. Quadrant three is where most of our clients, that's not true. Quadrant three is where you're not economically or emotionally sustainable. So that can be very draining, and we have to help you move out of that as soon as possible. Quadrant four is actually where most of our clients fall. For whatever reason, we attract these people. People who may be making a good living but want more meaning and more emotional satisfaction out of their work. So I see that there's a question. So yeah, you can tell me what quadrant three you're in. So if you're in quadrant three, the idea is to look at other options, because that your current situation is not going to be sustainable, and it's actually going to create something that we're going to talk about on the next slide, which is career anxiety. So career anxiety is created by feeling under pressure all the time, or most of the time, around your career choices. It could be that you're working for someone who's not supportive. It could be that you're working a lot, but you're not meeting your financial obligations. It could be that you're in a job, but you're feeling like you're not keeping up with the rest of your company, or you're being pushed out. So there's lots of forms of career anxiety, and there's lots of reasons for it economically. So if you're feeling that, if you're feeling anxious about your future and your present, you want to really take care of some basic things. First of all, talk to someone. It's not good to be alone. So talk to your spouse or your friends or a therapist or a coach so you're not feeling alone. It might be someone at work, like an HR person, that can help you out. Manage your energy at work, really important. One or two things tend to happen sometimes if you're under pressure. Some people kind of check out and underperform, and that creates more anxiety because you're not feeling secure. Other people tend to dial up the work and don't have any juice or energy for what you need to do to change. So manage your energy. You want to perform, but you don't want to overperform. Do things that raise your confidence. That might be, doing something athletic, or doing something for your family, or doing something for yourself. Anything that raises your confidence. Spend some time dreaming about how things can be different. It's really important, and adults tend to not allow themselves to do that. So do that. And then just take care of basic health things. Make sure you're getting enough sleep, enough water. I'm going to take a drink right now. Enough exercise, eating enough nutritional food, all really important things. So take care of basics. So reducing career anxiety, the third key. The fourth key has to do with what we call the 3 R's of career mastery. This is a practice to create change. Excuse me. So number 1 is reflecting, getting centered, whatever that means for you. For some people, that means resting more. For other people, that means meditating. For other people, it means around being around positive people. So get centered and get peaceful and calm, because you're going to make better decisions from that place. Research. Lots of people just get in the rut of what their industry is doing, what their company is doing. There's lots and lots of choices. There's always a need for good people. So, do what you need to do to network, or get online, or talk to people. You should be talking to people that can help you or hire you. So, expanding your choices is really important. Resolve is taking action before you are ready. So you might be sitting there in a job that you're not enjoying, and you're not taking action either. You might be just completely, completely unhappy, but not, also feeling frozen. So taking actions before you are ready might look like, applying for a job, talking to your spouse about your unhappiness, exploring having your own business by interviewing some entrepreneurs. So action's going to help you feel better. And the key, number 5, is what I talked about earlier, is knowing your purpose. So really spending some time, like, why are you working? And is that reason good enough? For some of our clients, they shift into a purpose that has to do with improving the world. So they might want to leave a legacy, and they, instead of working for a company just to work, they want to do something with a social impact, whether it's starting a not-for-profit, or helping the world be better by serving more environmentally safe products. So understanding your purpose is, and perhaps expanding your purpose, is a really key element. And just sitting with, why am I working now, and why do I want to work in the future? Really critical. So knowing your purpose is the 5th key. So those are the 5 keys to career mastery. And now I'm going to talk about strategies for taking your ideas and your reflection into the real world. So if you're looking at working at a job, and you're unhappy in your current work, you might want to think more about this environment that I talked about earlier. Figuring out, where are you going to thrive? What kind of culture are you going to thrive in? Maybe you need to work for a company that has a social impact. Maybe you need to work for a company that you can work from home. Whatever it is that you need, think about those things. And then think about companies. Instead of jobs and searching for a job, think about a company that's going to work for you. Like recently, I worked with a client in Austin, Texas, and we made a list of 10 companies that were the right culture fit for her, and she's going to go after meeting people in those companies and finding the right culture fit for her. That's a strategy. Becoming your own boss is a strategy. A lot of people now are starting freelance or entrepreneurial pursuits. There's a lot of support for that in local communities, and there's a lot of reasons for that. currently about 22% of our workforce is freelance or entrepreneurial, and that's shifting to 40%. So it'll be about 40% in the year 2020. So that is a really good strategy if you're that type of person who've always wondered about what it would be like to be your own boss. Choosing a portfolio career is thinking about multiple revenue streams. So some of my clients, for instance, have a day job and then they work on the weekends on their own pursuits, whether it's art or something else. Some of my clients have up to 3 different revenue streams. So if you're someone who likes to experiment with different things and is multitasking, and you might just give yourself permission to do that and think about that as an option. A strategic serial career is if you're okay with where you're at, it might be best to really dig deep into what you want to create next as a chapter and then start getting educated in the things you want to do while you're working. I did that. So I was a corporate human resource person before I started my own company, and my company supported me in taking some sabbaticals so that I could learn things I needed to learn to create my own company. So I also was able to, I had a great job and I had enough time to do some education while I was working. So you can be strategic about that if you want to, and think about, okay, what do I want to do next? And while I'm working, what can I do to prepare? Or if you're taking some time off, you can do that as well. The 5th strategy is to, if you're in something you don't want to pursue, you might take some time off. You might take a sabbatical, or you might just take a week where you really just take time off from worrying, take time off from working, and really do more of a vision quest that is internal work and prayerful work around what you should do next, and be more organic and slow about it. So those are 5 strategies. And now we'll move into your plan, right? So we went over 5 keys. So for the next 7 days, the best way to approach this is to think about, if you were going to just choose one of these 5 keys, which one would be the most important for you? So instead of taking on all 5, think about what would be the most important key for you. So is it defining soul work, getting really clear about what you would really love to do? Is it thinking about this emotional and economic sustainability and moving towards remarkable work? Is it reducing career anxiety so that you can be clearer and make better decisions? Is it practicing the 3 R's so you can make some traction and movement? Or is it about knowing your purpose? So think about which one you want to focus on, and then choose one for the next 7 days. And then think about strategy. If choose one of these to explore. You can explore eventually all 5, but think about, just for the next 7 days, which of these strategies is the right one for you, and exploring that. You also might want to join us. We have a great program. We've just reorganized the program to make it more affordable and more accessible to more people. We're very excited about it. We just ran our first class that completed last week. Lots of people made great strides in 8 weeks. So we have 8 weeks of online group sessions. I'm teaching it. We go through the process. You get a workbook and actually work through all those steps in detail. At the end, you present a final project that has to do with your soul work. And we had musical performances and business plans and lots of amazing things, product demonstrations. And it's only $495 for the 8 weeks. You also get a Facebook group to support each other through the process. You can go to brightlivelihoods.com and sign up. We'd love to have you. Love to have you. that is my presentation today. I will be following up with an email so that if you want to sign up for our program or sign up for a consultation with me, that would be great. But I'm also open right now to take any questions. If you have any, I'd love to hear from you on anything I presented or anything else you would like to talk about related to your career. So, any questions? And I noticed a couple of you got here late, so I'm going to be posting the whole webinar so you'll be able to catch up on the parts that you didn't get to. And if you don't have any questions, I'll just let you get back to what you're doing. But I so appreciate the time, and I hope to, oh, here we go. Here's a question. Well, so someone's asking, how do I know if I'm in soul work or remarkable work? It's pretty easy to know if you're in remarkable work or unremarkable works. Remarkable work is work that you look forward to and you get energy from. Unremarkable work is work that you're drained when you're drained. So the distinction between soul work is understanding, if you understand your passions and you understand your purpose and you can say, this work that I'm doing today is the absolute best use of my passions and purpose, then you're doing soul work. So, but you have to understand what your passions are, you have to understand what your purpose is, which may not be something that you can figure out today or in this seminar. But I think in the end, if you're doing soul work, there's really nothing else you'd rather do, and you really don't think about doing other things. You're just doing it. Hope that answers the question. Good question. Thank you. I think that's it. If there's anything else, I'm here. You're welcome. If there's anything else, I am here anytime. We have lots of resources on our website, brightlivelihood.com. You can also just call me directly. My contact is here, and or email me at info@brightlivelihood.com, and we'll get you the information you need. Thank you for spending some time with me, and enjoy your day. Bye-bye.